I just thought I would make a further part to this entire episode because I think it's important. And this has to do with medical professionals, police, ACC, Crown and government, cabinet ministers. Everybody works as individuals, and no one is explaining to the victim what their injuries are, what the cause is, what the investigation is, because there is none. So it's like taking every complete control away from your victim, your patient. So it literally becomes a case of fix your own fucking injuries, as stated by McGreevy. Jan White, go back to the UK and get free medical treatment. So in other words, New Zealand wants other governments to actually foot the bill of what their incompetence has created. So you're literally, you're an injured person, they're causing you more injury. They're not addressing the injuries that you already have, but causing you further injuries. And then not investigating the injuries that you have again because of them and their physical and mental attacks. And then wanting to spoon feed you shit and telling you to fund your own rehabilitation. That is as corrupt as the day is long. And this is the whole point of tying a victim's life up in legal and political garbage for the rest of their lives. While you carry out your vigilantism, abuse, threats, intimidation, violence, kidnapping, fraud, criminal blackmail, your criminal provocations, your antagonism, your torment. You then isolate and alienate your victims from behind your Nazi-run organisation. You then, all your different departments are coming together at a minister's office to literally lay out a plan for a line of attack. You're then attacking the victim's sanity under false pretenses because not one of you have the logic, reason or common sense to sit down and have a discussion, debate or answer a question because you're all cowardly bastards, every last one of you. You are gangsters. You gang up on a victim and then you try and claim to society, oh, he's the problem. No, you're the fucking problem. You've always been the problem, every last one of you. You literally go out to use fear and violence as part of your active war actions. The violence and the conflicts that you create because you lack the ability of logic, reason and common sense. You lack the ability to discuss a question or discuss an issue or answer a question or an issue. You literally become the operation team in an operating theatre without the fucking patient and without the victim. So you're literally doing everything behind your victim's back and you're doing it all secretly. And you're avoiding every answer to every question. You're avoiding every right of a victim to they apply for privacy information and you aren't handing it over. You're running behind each other and you're hiding behind each other while you destroy your victims' lives. Not just mine, you do it to thousands of victims. Now, everybody can say, oh, Michael's mad. Nothing mad about me, I've already proven that beyond any reasonable doubt. Difficult? No, I'm not difficult. I'm a good listener and I'm a good talker. That's for damn sure. Problem with you people is you know how to talk, but you just don't know how to listen. You know how to dictate, but you just don't know how to answer a question. You know how to say, well, this is how it is. But as soon as you get a little spanner in your works, it's like, shut up shop. You get paid a fucking fortune for doing a job you don't do. You run a country like it's an abortion clinic. You run rehabilitation like it's a Nazi fucking concentration camp. so many things in this case that don't add up, but everything that has been done is from a standing on your part as criminal blackmail and criminal holding to ransom. Dictating. It's no different to criminal abuse. And wearing a victim down, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, physically, financially. And you go to the extreme on all levels. I mean, you say like, a person becomes friends with somebody who's having work done, and all of a sudden they're fully fit to fucking work according to you, without you following 1 ounce of policy, procedure, or protocol. Without one medical professional being involved to actually address whether the person was fit to work or whether the person wasn't fit to work. You carried out a lynch mob action. You used the Ministry of Justice, the Court of Law, you used the police, you used everybody who was at the secret meeting in Parliament on the 20th of June 2007. And you carried out one massive line of attack on one victim. That is the actions of fucking cowards. That is the actions of lowlifes and fucking scum. And since then, you've defrauded me of what, $30,000 approximately? After suspending all my rights and entitlements, rehabilitation, medical and treatment needs for 4 years. And then after that fucking process was finished, you literally lied through your teeth about charging me an extra $30,000 tax that I had no liability to pay. So ACC stole it, gave it to Inland Revenue, and the government wants to fucking come out in the media. Now, this is another part that pisses me off. The media come out and go, it's a tax glitch. What a load of fucking shite. But it's amazing how the media can get a government instruction to make a public announcement, but the government's not giving the media any public announcements about what they've done to my life, in my case. And they're kidnapping and they're setting me up for crimes that I didn't commit. Making false declarations in my name. I mean, you say like it's yeah. I guess that's what you call an act of war against the victim, isn't it? And this is where fear and violence really, really fucking pisses me off. Fear and violence used by terrorists to bully and abuse and threaten and intimidate their victims while they're instigating it. And then because the victim comes out in the public arena in relation to all your corruption and criminality, abuse, threats, intimidation and violence, he's all literally turned the victim's life into a criminal blackmail holding to ransom situation, more like you're a prisoner, you're hostage and you're captive under ACC, while you carry out a further fraud on the victim's life that has nothing to do with rehabilitation. Nothing to do with restoring someone's life to the best it can be. You're not following policies, procedures, or protocols. You're not following legislation, and you're certainly not following the law. But yet there's no criminal charges, not even for misfeasance in public office, which is exactly what this case amounts to. But then again, ACC should be criminally charged for being a racketeering, organised crime-run industry, because it is. You're making millions of dollars off every victim whose life you fucking destroy. Because you're denying them their qualities of life. You're denying them their rights to be rehabilitated and their lives to be restored to the best they can be. Because you're too busy trying to get rid of your victims for free. And that's where the criminality comes into this case. Between making false declarations and then lying through your teeth and then trying to hide behind fear and violence because you are fucking terrorists. Gangsters on a grand scale. Doctors are being dictated to by ACC. Gerard McGreevy's probably pulled off one of the best crimes you could ever imagine. He hasn't even done it in a successful manner. He's pulled it off because all the people involved are nothing but lowlifes and scum following instructions of criminals. And this is where the whole rule of law becomes a disgrace. Because one lawyer can get away with murder. And he can only get away with murder if he's supported by another gang of gangsters. And he was supported. Mike Heron, Beverly Wickham, Jan White, Gary Wilson, Quinton Doig, and then all the staff that he was paying to do his dirty work. And then trying to manipulate the outcome through the court of law. I still haven't lifted my hand. I still haven't threatened anybody. But I don't have to threaten anybody. That's the fucking patience I have. There's no extreme, there's no provocation to provoke me into an immediate reaction, because I'm not going to give you an immediate reaction. You'll get a reaction when I need to give you a reaction. And that's the whole problem with you. If I'm going to destroy my life by lifting this fucking hand, then it's the end of the road. So don't make me lift this fucking hand. It's as simple as that. I've really fucking had a guts full of you. I've put up with every ounce of intimidation, every ounce of threat, every ounce of harassment, every ounce of fraud that any victim could ever put up with. And now what I've got is silence, stagnant, stalemate, Mexican standoff, criminal blackmail, and criminal holding to ransom. These are all part and parcel of criminal provocations. You know it, and I fucking know it. Now, I want my life out of the hands of the fucking terrorists running my life through ACC, because they don't deserve to be running a rehabilitation organisation. I would say that probably 70% of them should be behind bars for at least 25 years, if not the rest of their lives, because they're criminals. So I suggest you make sure I don't have to lift this hand. You make sure I get justice and accountability. You make sure that I'm properly compensated. You make sure that I have enough money to restore my life to the best it can be after 20 years of working to destroy it. Or 19 years. Something like that. 1998, 99? That's really when the criminality started in this case. So what's that? Yeah. 19, 20 years. So, what else do you want? There's nothing you can say or do to change the fact that this was an act of war against me. There's nothing you can say or do that doesn't prove that there was a secret meeting in Parliament that led to the state criminal kidnapping of me. There's nothing you can say or do that disproves the fact that I was being threatened by judges, Crown lawyers, ACC management and staff, by police, by prison guards, that I was being antagonised and tormented and tortured by fucking idiots who are just condescending fucking lowlifes. You are the biggest gang of criminal abusers that I have ever come across in my entire life. That's what I've had to put up with. And the torment of it is beyond belief. You've taken a civilized life and you've turned it into a fucking living hell, and you use fear and violence to do it every step of the way. Simply because you didn't want to answer the questions and you wanted to turn everything into a civil matter while you committed your fucking crimes. Well, McGreevy is going to be held fucking criminally to account, and every fucker who helped him along with him. How that's going to be done is entirely down to use the police. It's entirely down to the fucking government. But if it's not done, then it's personal. Shane Pay's already said it's personal. If he knew it was personal, and he declared it an act of war against me, then he knowingly was committing a crime when he actually carried out his actions. So, there's no getting away from that. These are all involved in the crimes that are being committed against me. There's no other way around it. When McGreevy is instigating his own fear and violence and trying to turn a victim into a villain and turn himself into a victim when he's a terrorist, everybody knew what he was doing, but you all fucking helped him anyway. Ailsa Duffy knew what he was doing and still fucking covered it up. Why? Because she wanted to become a judge, not a fucking Queen's Counsel. Shame on her, because she should have went a lot further than she did, and she didn't. And that's just another piecemeal fashion load of shite that was instigated by, again, Ruth Dyson. And that would explain the secret meeting in Parliament. That would explain the calling on the Ombudsman's office, the Health and Disability Commission, Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Health, Crown Law Office, and the police, and ACC. So he's all met in one fucking room and decided he's going to carry out the ultimate fucking crime, and then leave it on the victim to fund public-private criminal prosecutions or fund their own civil actions. You can go fuck yourself. I am not turning a criminal matter into a civil matter. There are civil matters, yes. There are lots of criminal matters. The reason those criminal matters aren't being addressed is because the police are nothing but criminals, being run by terrorists in positions of power. Now, if this is how you carry out your organised crime, that's entirely up to you. What do I want out of this case? I want my fucking life out of the hands of the terrorists who ran this case. Right? I'm sick of making the statements that I'm making that are all factual. I'm not going to fight you at my expense in your kangaroo corrupt run courts. And I've experienced that too. The government only has one option, to call for a Royal Commission of Inquiry. And if they don't fucking call for it, then we're at last resort. Simple as that. This is my life that you fucking put on the line. This is my life that you threatened for 20 fucking years. This is my fucking future and quality of life that you have threatened for 20 fucking years. And you have dragged it out day after day after day after day after day, month after month, year after year. Well, it's not fucking going to go on like this. Kerry Kay told me, and I've got it on tape as well as I have the admission that Shane Page declared it an act of war against me. So, at the end of the day, they're just trying to buy time, Michael. That fucking time is my life. That is a premeditated crime on the part of government and everybody else involved. You have 6 months to fucking sort it out. Don't fuck it up. And I will get justice and accountability. With or without your fucking help. And you can tell your fucking psychiatrists to go fuck themselves, because there's not one of them know how to fucking psychoanalyze anybody. They're the ones who need fucking psychoanalyzed. And they're a bunch of lying bastards on behalf of government. They're actually paid to commit crimes. So that's the end of that. 6 months, people. That's what you have to sort this fucking out. Then it becomes personal on my part. And I'm not going to wait until I'm fucking 75 years of age and fucking ready to fucking fall into the ground. Not that I'm probably fucking not even going to live that long, but that's besides the point. Get my life out of harm's fucking way and give me justice and accountability. He's a fucking dragged this on long enough.